When you think of a hippo, you probably picture something kind of like this, right? The big, gentle, slightly goofy character from cartoons. But what if I told you that friendly-looking face is hiding one of the most dangerous animals in all of Africa? Today, we're going to tear down that myth and look at the real story, because the truth is way more brutal.
All right, first up, the cuddly killer. Let's dive right into this massive gap between how we see the hippo and what it actually is.
This quote from a medical report by Oxford academic just says it all, doesn't it? We think of them as one of the most loved animals, but in reality, they're incredibly aggressive. So, just how dangerous are we talking about here?
Well, this number changes everything. An estimated 500 people are killed by hippos in Africa every single year. These are often just tragic encounters on the rivers that people and hippos share. But think about that. It makes the hippo the world's deadliest large land mammal. It's responsible for more human deaths on the continent than lions or even crocodiles. So how in the world can an animal that pretty much only eats grass be so incredibly lethal?
Well, the answer really lies in its physical toolkit. So let's break down the anatomy of this threat and see exactly what makes the hippo a force to be reckoned with. Okay, it all starts with just sheer mass. An adult hippo can weigh around 3,200 kilograms. That's over 7,000 pounds. To put that in perspective, that's heavier than your average SUV. This isn't just fat, it is pure power. It's like having the force of a car packed into a living, breathing creature. And don't for a second think all that weight slows it down. Nope, a hippo can charge at 30 kilometers an hour. That's about 19 miles per hour. They can easily outpace a human. So yeah, the idea of trying to outrun one, that is a very dangerous fantasy. And then there's the jaw. It is this biological marvel that can open up to a terrifying 150 degrees. And trust me, that is not just for show. It's the delivery system for one of the most powerful bites in the entire animal kingdom.
Get this, a lion's bite force is powerful, right? It clocks in at around 4,500 kilopascals. A hippo's? A jaw-dropping 12,600 kilopascals. That is nearly 3 times stronger. We're not just talking about a bite here, we're talking about a crushing force that can literally snap a small boat in half.
And as you can imagine, the consequences of an attack are just devastating. A medical report that looked at survivors found that these incidents are classified as major trauma. Infections in those deep wounds are incredibly common. Nearly a third of victims need an amputation, and over half are left with some kind of permanent disability.
But believe it or not, the hippo's story gets even stranger. Beyond its raw physical power, it has this bizarre biological secret, something that's confused people for centuries. It is time to talk about its infamous blood sweat.
So what is going on here? What is this strange red liquid that just seems to ooze from their skin? Is it a sign that they're stressed out? Is it an injury? Or is it something else entirely?
Well, the real answer is absolutely fascinating. Turns out, despite the name, it's not blood at all. And scientifically, it's not even sweat, because it doesn't come from sweat glands. It's a totally unique biological fluid that serves an incredible purpose. Scientists figured out that it's this unique ooze made of 2 key pigments. There's a red one called hipposudoric acid and an orange one called norhipposudoric acid. When these two mix together on the hippo's skin, you get that famous reddish goo.
So this stuff isn't just for looks. It's not some colorful quirk. This secretion is actually a multi-purpose biological tool. It's like a natural supergoo that is absolutely essential for the hippo's survival.
So these are the actual chemical structures of those 2 acids. And their complexity is what allows them to create this super sophisticated, all-in-one defense mechanism that the hippo actually makes all by itself. And it has 2 jobs that are absolutely critical. First, it's a super potent sunscreen. The pigments are literally structured to absorb harmful UV radiation, which protects the hippo's mostly hairless skin from that intense African sun. And second, it's a powerful antibiotic. The high acidity of the stuff stops bacteria from growing, which is crucial for an animal that gets into a lot of brutal fights and gets wounded all the time. So when we put all these pieces together, the insane power, the surprising speed, and these unique biological defenses, a very, very different picture of the hippopotamus starts to come into focus.
And what's really wild is that for an animal that's so famous and so dangerous, the hippo is, as this scientific paper points out, relatively understudied by scientists and underfunded by conservation. There is still so much we just don't know about this incredible animal. Which kind of leaves us with one last question. After everything we've looked at, is the hippo just a deadly killer that we should all be afraid of? Or is it actually one of the most perfectly and brutally adapted survivors on the entire planet, armed with every tool it needs to thrive? An animal that maybe demands not just our fear, but also our respect.